Hey folks, Team 17 have just released info about key changes coming to Hell Let Loose, from new night map variants of existing maps to the rework of the Dive to Prone feature and the revamp of the British forces. The next patch, 14.4, is due out on October 12th and will feature night versions of maps such as Carentan and St. Mary-Église. So players will be able to play D-Day maps in night settings when the first engagements between Allied paratroopers and German garrisons in Normandy occurred. PC players will be able to test out these two new maps and some bug fixes, including a potential fix to the loadout bug in the next PTE session, which runs from Friday 29th of September until Monday, October 2nd. But that isn't all. Night and dusk variants, other maps are also being worked on, including Utah Beach, Hill 400, Dreyel, Kharkov, Stalingrad, Omaha Beach, and El Alamein. Now, Team 17 are reintroducing the Dive to Prone feature in the upcoming patch, but it's undergone some much needed adjustments. They said a lot of time has been spent fine-tuning, polishing the Dive to Prone feature to not only ensure it's not exploitable, much more realistic and tactile feel. These changes include players will now have to carry momentum throughout the dive to prone action, which means you'll be unable to change direction mid-dive and instead only be able to control the direction once friction with the ground is re-established upon landing. Players will no longer be able to dive while jumping. Instead, the new animation queue system is used to begin the dive when the player lands from a jump. Also, the Dive to Prone feature will come with a cooldown, meaning players won't be able to dolphin dive repeatedly. Team 17 said this cooldown will prevent the action from being carried out too soon after the completion of a dive. In addition, the duration and speed of the slide at the end of the dive has been turned down to feel more realistic, and has now impacted whether you were entering the dive to prone from a standing or crouched position. In the previous version, there was also a camera limitation as the dive ended, which was a result of the system that controls head bobbing under locomotion, switching between different profiles of standing and crouched. This system has now been rewritten to be more versatile and now has the capability to have a more smooth transition between these profiles, which improves the visual quality of the animations. Now, the new Dive to Prone feature will also properly conserve momentum by using the speed that the player was traveling when the player started the dive, rather than using the stunter's maximum speed. It also won't be possible to immediately aim down the sight with your weapon after you've completed the dive for a short period of time after you've landed. And they've introduced a camera shake that is triggered on contact with the ground, which will make diving to prone and instantly hitting headshots much more difficult. Overall, I really like these changes to the dive to prone mechanic. I think they're very good, and they make the mechanic feel more realistic and actually to be used as it was intended, a method to hit the ground really quickly when under fire, rather than a gimmicky exploit which enables players to avoid being shot while being able to easily return fire with great accuracy. Patch 4.5, which is due out in November, will introduce dusk variants of maps like El Alamein. The devs have said, rather than the cool, low light tones of night maps, this variant will feature darkened lighting, gently lit with a fading glow that not only provides a new atmosphere, but also offers an initial reduced visibility variant of El Alamein that players can utilize to navigate the vast open terrain. The November patch will also see a night variant of Dreyel added too. The other big area of change for patch 14.5 is the first part of the British rework. In November, we will get new desert uniforms for the British and Germans, the new British weapons like the No. 1 Mark III Lee Enfield, and new British vehicles and changes to the existing British loadouts. I hope this will include all the promised British weapons improvements, such as a bipod for the Bren and the addition of the M1928 Thompson and the Gammon Bomb, for example. In December, patch 14.6 will bring in night variants of two Eastern Front maps. These are Stalingrad and Kharkov, as well as a bunch of bug fixes. According to the Team 17, major updates, which will mean the introduction of completely new maps, new game modes, and new forces such as the Poles or the Finns, which were originally supposed to come in December of this year, will be coming next year. This is unfortunate, but Team 17 have had to address some of the issues they created with their lackluster updates, like Update 14, which caused a lot of backlash from the community. So it sounds like they're listening, and they're making efforts to rework the British, for example, and features like Dive to Prone, so hopefully these will be much better in this iteration than their first attempt. On top of all that, we're getting some more cosmetic DLCs, which are coming to the game in the next couple patches. The Fallschirmjäger or German paratrooper cosmetics are getting another iteration, as well as the German Ebenmuster or P pattern uniform, which both will be available for infantry and recon roles, and I suspect both will be paid for DLCs available in the additional content section, which was introduced in the previous patch. So that's all, folks. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to stay up to date with all the latest Hell Let Loose news, subscribe to the channel.